Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Angru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we're coming to you today from Division 3 of the SD2 League, but also from Slutsk East. So Rang, who are we watching today and what are they bringing to the fray?
On the left-hand side in blue, we have Boda121 playing 21st Panzer for Vanguard income, and right-hand side in red, we have Nonchalant playing 3rd Guard Mechanized, also with a Vanguard income.
You know, at the time of recording, I think actually we're going into the playoffs, I want to say, actually, of the SD4 League, Season 4 League. SD4, I'd be kind of crazy at this point, but the SD2 Season 4 League. And I actually want to just to give, standard thank you to all the players who've been taking part in this, and as well as all you guys who've been kind of watching us cast these games here. It's always a success, but it's because of you guys. So I just want to give a thank you for you real quick. But you know what? Let's talk decks. Talk to me about the decks. What should we expect? What's different? What's usual? How am I going to be seeing this play out?
Both pretty standard. 3rd Guard Mech will be a lot of standard Sherman spam, and for 21st Panzer you have a few King Tigers. I think it's going to be pretty much 21st will fare better fighting up north with the King Tigers and more heavier AT, and then down south Nonchalant has the better infantry, has all those lovely partisani troops to try and beat out the 21st at close range. We're seeing a lot of flamethrower troops early on here from Boda, and an early Focke-Wulf.
I'm very surprised by the extreme investment early on of SU-85s. If you saw the decks as we kind of flashed up here on the screens, SU-85s are going to be more regular than we're used to, but they're still not entirely inexpensive. Killing a Sherman down south, excuse me, point to Sherman, that is.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really interesting call. It's usually with Sherman spam decks, like for some of the Russian divisions, you only really see Shermans being used, but as we see here, having the SU-85 embedded with the Sherman just give you a little bit of extra long-range firepower, as the Shermans aren't the best at blowing up other tanks, especially other Shermans.
Actually, what I do love is I love seeing these 50 mil stovepipes over here in that kind of southern, east of the southern forest. 50 mil, not great range per se, but a lot of immediate kind of firepower, and you can see pushing those Germans outside of the western reaches of that town there.
Yeah.
Of course, they are helped by the fact that this is an airsats opening.
Yeah, it's 21st Panzer there. Early infantry is just... I mean, the infantry in general for 21st Panzer is pretty pants. And it's going to be the difficulty here. Nonchalant is playing it correctly by trying to push through the town. And he is making, like, banging headway here.
So I got distracted for a second by that artillery strike that's going on about 2 kilometers north of there. 105, actually, you can see from this behind, there, the front lines here. So not the largest of battery sizes, but of course, it's not the size that matters, it's what you do with it. And we're seeing some rather, quick usage of a second artillery barrage down here to the south. It's not going to be in time to send a Flammenwerfer. That guy's going to go down pretty quickly here.
Yeah.
And indeed, I'm actually almost concerned that the barrage is going to be out of position. It's like I almost expect these troops to start moving further and further west, but no, it looks like I'm actually completely not going to see that happen.
Now we got... There's the fire base of the Shermans trying to give, fire support to the Partisani pushed down south, but Boda has a pretty good Pack 38 position. Not really getting any kills here. The Shermans have a little bit of a thick skin, but definitely stopping them from just barreling through.
Well, and that's the big thing, isn't it? It's just, as long as you keep running roughshod over your entire flank, I mean, that's pretty dang solid right there.
Yeah.
Barrage is coming down, so not going to touch the 50 mil mortars, but that's probably the happiest thing that Nonchalant can report. Oh, and by the way, there's a Koenigsegger coming on in too.
Okay, yeah, there we go. And actually bringing it down south is a pretty interesting call. I was actually expecting to see it up north because it does enjoy the flat plains of Slutsk. Down south, I can see why, because that little Sherman SU-85 combo on the hill has proven to be a pain in the ass, but I feel like it's going to have limited success because you can't really maneuver a King Tiger effectively in a town. It gets a bit claustrophobic,
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Tigers love those open spaces, man. You don't really want to go and have kind of close quarters fighting. But I actually agree with you. I'd much rather see this one here get brought down to the south. He's got to stabilize it some way.
Yeah.
He's crumbling under like all of the kind of consistent pressure that's been happening here.
Yeah, and this infantry can only really do so much. Panzer Grenadiers are, good long-range fire support, but not if they can't get into the town because they keep getting shot at by the Shermans.
I am surprised to see machine. Was that a cannon from the actual Focke-Wulf that took out? Jeez. But in any case, here, okay. So last barrage from the off-map has been called on in. MCHA and P4 trade out to the north of, let's say, that rather heavy Soviet presence here in the forest. And I guess the question really is, can the Königstiege arrest this momentum? I mean, if you look down to the south, yeah, there still are guards there with, the RPGs, grenades. Technically, you can bring more Vazvedkas, and Vazvedkas are going to be rather active here over to Phase B once we get there in the next couple of minutes. But when it comes down to it, King Tiger doesn't have a whole lot to really worry about on this map, does he?
Yeah, especially in this matchup too, as Nonchalant really has nothing that can effectively kill a King Tiger head-on. He doesn't even have any cluster bomber planes, which can also effectively kill it, so just as long as Boda doesn't get too stupid with it, it should be nigh on invincible and be a good use of fire support, but I don't feel like he's going to be able to get into the town again, at least until B phase, where he can get some pioneers to throw some angry grenades at some angry Russians. I don't know if a grenade can really be angry, but guessing by the explosive capabilities of a grenade, I'd say that'd be an act of anger.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, hate leads to suffering, all that kind of material right there. So yeah, this is definitely a dark side weapon, grenades. I completely understand. And you know what? I think you have the right of it there.
Mm-hmm.
But we are going to see some other guys coming in here who are more pacifist than anything else. Yes, that is 4 squads of air such troop being sent into the forest to, be targets and to waste the Partizani ammunition. So, isn't that lovely right there?
Yeah, it's much more useful for the ersatz trooper to take the Molotov full team rather than the Panzer Grenadiers.
Well, we also are going to see the Su-85 goes down, so the last thing that can actually destroy the Königstiege down here, other than old age and, getting rid of the paint chips, has gone down. Unless we bring another one over here? No, not yet. We are getting a ton more of mortars. This is more mortar investment than we've seen the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, these 13 mm mortars are really bloody good now because they can shoot indirectly. And that's pretty damn good. Because they're very short range, of course. But they can just instantly suppress out anything for... How much? I think only 15 points these Partizani mortars. So they are very, very worthwhile.
For the life of me, for half a second, I was like, wait a second, he only gets four 50 mils. Like, what's going on here? But you're absolutely right. 20 points overall. Yes, a chunk of that comes over here from the vehicle itself. And actually, I'm kind of fascinated. We have this Sherman who's been rather brave, and it seems to think that its discretion is not really the better part of valor. Especially over here to the western side of this town. I'm not sure I really like that particular move.
Yeah.
You've got the territory, just hang back, make him come to you.
Yeah, really, Nonchalant's best bet is just to dig deep inside of his town. Just, throw an infantry in pretty much every single building that you can, because it's going to take Boda a long time to try and break through it all. As 21st Panzer does not like town fights. They despise them.
So wait, you're saying that basically Nonchalant needs to play, live up to his name and just not care?
Yeah, exactly. Just throw in all the troops, don't care about their deaths, and just keep buying more of them in a nonchalant manner.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't attack move, just regular move.
Exactly. Apathy is the watchword of the day, my friends. Those Focke-Wulfs have been constant and active, though. I mean, good gosh. I feel like this southern breakout had far greater potential before the 190s came to play.
Yeah, they've definitely been pretty useful in getting some bombing runs here. And we are seeing a mortar half strike being brought out from Boda, which is definitely a very good call. Because if you can't enter the town directly, you might as well blow it up indirectly.
Well, not for nothing, too. I kind of expect to see, oh, wait a second, guys. Here's those Partizani mortars. Let's engage them. And 81 mil is much larger than 50 mil. And consequently hurts probably just as much, if not more so.
Yep. Yeah, Boda is having a hard time getting into... I mean, does have a foothold in the town, which is something at least, but Nonchalant just has too many dudes in there to easily push through, and Panzergrens are not great in close quarters.
No, sir, they are not. But it will be interesting to see. Because Boda, like we saw in the decks overall, does have a couple of Ju-88s. So I guess, the mortar half-track has already apparently given away his position. I didn't even see the first barrage. But there's a mortar that's going to be engaging him as we speak, so this could be really interesting and depressing at the same time.
I don't think it's going to do too much. Mortar half-track does have a bit of armor, which helps out quite a bit. And also, you know, reels and tracks, so it can relocate.
That's certainly true, but we have seen weirder things on these casts, my friend.
Yeah, goddamn, those 50mm mortars just instantly suppress anything. You know, Sherman pops up the hill, is forced to go back the hill after being just pelted by grenades.
And wait a second, this has got to be some sort of, like, issue here. 128 shells? Excuse me,
Only
126?
50mm.
Who cares?
I know it is a lot.
If I could throw shells downrange until Doomsday, what does it matter? Ammo loads seem a little bit heavy there, but you know what? The Partisanis definitely need something to kind of crow about a bit. So
They just have a bag of holding.
Yeah, you know, it's equally fantastic to imagine that they would just stand up to regular troops though too. So I guess yeah, we've kind of crossed and gone through the looking glass there.
I mean, don't you have a bag of holding just full of 50mm mortar shells? I mean, I have one just in my cupboard just in case. I don't have a mortar to use it, so it's kind of useless.
Well, that's actually what I keep in mind. See, that was the whole reason that we're supposed to be on the same crew together. You carry the one part and I carry the other.
Oh,
the site was kept by PLK, but of course he just jetted off to somewhere in Europe, so God only knows what's going on with him. But another Su-85 here in the center of the map. We have a potential of seeing 9 of those overall in this match. One of them has already gone down, but I'd kind of be fascinated to see if there's another push starting to happen, and there is actually. Look here towards the center. Partisani troops getting outnumbered 6 or 7 to 1, and even Ersatz trooping can't lose that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a very good call from Boda here, because fighting down south is going to be a costly attritional warfare, but up north he does have a little bit of better chances here. And Nonchalant, he really does not have many troops up in the north. He's going to need some tanks, some AT guns, anything, because 2 guys and a flamethrower is a little bit light to defend an entire barn.
It's certainly true, and that's one of those things I was taking a look at just now to kind of see how that might develop. This really could easily be a 12-12 if Boda just has the inclination to walk another 50 meters in a couple of different points.
Oh yeah. Indeed,
it's fascinating. But MCHEK Camaratis continue to kind of hold the line down to the south, kind of buffing up those local troops, as will those, is that Partisani Camaratis? Yeah. Over here in the town. So, let's game this out for a second. You're Boda. Do you just go all into the north, just kind of give up the south more or less, and just kind of go all into the north? How does that really work?
Yeah, I think that would be the best play. You can get more bang for your buck in terms of territory, and Boda is making decent headway into the town, but it's just so many like nooks and crannies he's going to have to clear out. And he is moving in his King Tiger. I mean, I want to say moving it in dangerously, but he does have infantry surrounding it, and he's not getting too cocky. But he's having to play his King Tiger like this to knock out these rather dastardly Shermans.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing to a certain extent is you see that flaming bridge just to the north? That once held 2 half-tracks of troops as well as 2 P4s.
Oh, yeah.
That is a bridge of death. I guess my major concern over here is from the Boda's perspective, how do you force the issue? Like, I see artillery. Do you bring in artillery? Do you bring in the 172s? Like, what do you do here?
I mean, 21st Panzer does have a pretty good artillery loadout, and you have to try and use that in your favor in these infantry town fights. I mean, it does have a lot of the Russian 122 mils, which are pretty powerful pieces, and of course the mortar half-tracks, which you can never really have enough of.
I mean, you never have enough half-tracks. That's just an unavoidable fact. I actually love seeing this Flak 41, 88 mil is down over here, engaging, takes out a Sherman. And the Königstiger it's got its legs broken, but he is not dead yet.
Yeah, the S-35 is dangerously close though, but I think the King Tiger's still in a pretty good position. The Flak 88 definitely helping out with a little bit of direct fire support, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is that right now we have now seen 2 of the Shermans going down, including one of those being the Comroti. So not an ideal occurrence, because now you have the Su-85, and that's really the major player.
Mm-hmm.
But alright.
Yeah, the northern side is starting to look a bit better here from Boda. Did manage to capture the farmstead, yeah, and he's bringing in more reinforcements. So I wonder if he's going to try and play a bit more heavy all the way far north and try to get the opposing town. That's usually a pretty popular play. It's a bit risky, but I mean, as reading with our God Vision, there's really not much, yeah, just 2 partisani troops.
I don't think he's going to do that, though.
Yeah.
I think Boda, he's a proud man. He's a proud man. I think he's going to try to go force the issue down here to the south and at least get it back to a 50-50 in terms of raw real estate. And then he might focus his efforts to the north. That's going to be way too late. You can see right now, Su-85 there, Emcha, 3 guard squads are getting brought on in to kind of support that push going back west, seizing those flags again. I don't know if we're going to see a full-on push to the north.
Yeah. He's definitely focusing a lot of his attention down south here now again. And he hasn't really managed to make that much progress still. He's looking a little bit better in terms of troops, but, you know, Nonchalant has a pretty good defensive lineup here with all the mortars, just the tanks. It's got constant infantry being, brought on in by the truckload. Like, he can easily just keep throwing bodies in here and keep control of this area. Especially considering the center point is just, a hill. It's got playground. Insert joke here.
Certainly true. But I do think Nonchalant is getting a little fixated down here to the south. Like, I like seeing the fact that we're getting more mortars, the 82 mils being brought on in, and what is that? Yeah, he's got another potential 8 of those, good gosh. And he's trying really hard to come back in and start taking up those earlier positions that he had. Interesting.
But up north, that push is actually happening, Khan.
Ooh,
and the thing is, he's using half-tracks and armoured vehicles, and the partisani can chuck some grenades in the tops, but see how that'll go.
Yeah, and apparently that's not even happening. I mean, they just raced past, and there's nothing that can really be done here. Good gosh.
Yeah, this is, this is a pretty good push here from Boda. Definitely a risky run, because you don't really have any eyes on in the town, but it's going to pay off as those partisanis actually kill 1 transport at least, which is pretty good in the air end.
Yeah, by throwing it 150 meters, jeez.
Yeah. And
we're going to see a goalpost move though. So between the pioneers, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Angry grenade has angry effects.
But that's going to be 1 flag, possibly 2 here. And yes, in fact, we're going to see the Focke-Wulf, who formerly was going to go and engage the northern section. It's not going to go after these guards. To kind of release some of the pressure on these peak runs that are just being, well, rather stymied.
Yeah. Yeah, having the tank fire support backing up the guard is definitely helping out Nonchalant, yeah. This is definitely interesting as they open up the map a little bit more rather than just see southern slugfest that we usually see. I think Nonchalant's going to be able to retake that farmstead in like the central north. Yeah, like central
Well, I'll tell you one
position.
thing. These guards aren't going to make it.
No.
That's 1.
That's a really good position for the Sherman, as it's nice and close range and anything coming down the hill. Oh, never mind. It was a terrible position, guys. Ignore what I said 10 seconds ago.
Well, the thing is that the SPW can still keep them under fire too. So, like, go ahead, try to engage. I dare you.
Yeah.
And there's the Emcha. Okay, he dares. But you said the farmstead peak runs are going to get forced back here. In fact, they're going to just probably join their comrades in death. Yep. And we're back to a 13-11 any second now.
Nope, still Trove.
I guess I expected more active territory shifts on that one.
Yeah.
The 21st Panzer is gaining a bit of momentum, but he's buying every last step here with a ton of blood.
Yeah, so you see on a second King Tiger route seems to be heading to the central northern position, which is a fantastic spot for said King Tiger, because long range you can knock out that Emcha and Su-85 with relative ease.
I'm actually gonna find it rather unfortunate this SPW-222. Okay, good. I was gonna say, retreat, my friend, retreat.
Yeah.
You cannot withstand that firepower.
Live to fight another day.
Well, I think I have a soft spot for the wheeled vehicles in this game.
Yeah, I really just like any light armored vehicle, like light armored recon car, whether it's 222, the Stackhound, the BA-10. They're all just really cool. I don't know, just a personal fancy of mine.
An elegant weapon of a different age.
Something along those lines, yes. I just like seeing fast car go boom boom.
Man, you are all about the fast cars, you know, live fast, die young, leave a pretty corpse kind of thing, man.
Exactly.
Well, I'll tell you who's not leaving a pretty corpse, though, is 172 down south is engaged that town. He's just going to pound that thing flat. There will be nothing left by the time he is done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets 2 of those. So potential 4 more barrages to be seen around this map. Looking elsewhere, P4 in the central part of the map here is just going to be engaged consistently by these guards. Finally forces him in undercover. Well, there's an SU-85 moving in as well, so I imagine that his short stint as big dog on campus will get brought to a rather screeching halt soon enough.
And he realizes what's coming towards him and decides to back off, which is definitely the best play. I do find it funny how up north that one Ogman Cheeky Shroud is keeping that flag under control. Just those 2 guys in the field are just pretty much helping.
Oh yeah,
like holding that entire point.
just chilling out in the open, just doing their thing. Down to the south, what was rubble in the first place has become rather redundant here as more shells just continue to create more rubble. And there's a piece of me that kind of says like there's only so often you can do this before it really stops having any impact whatsoever.
Yeah. You got to wait for time, you know, a little bit between barrages for the guard spam to blossom again so you can pummel him back into submission.
Exactly. Now we have Pigrens and Gepards and guards. Everyone's just kind of racing to the fore, and everyone has basically not so much exactly the same equipment, but it's going to be one of those noodle contests where the only thing that's going to really happen is to stack more bodies up.
Yeah. It's a bloody affair that stuff, which really just turned into a giant arty party. You got a lot of mortars here from Nonchalant End, which he's using to great effect to keep things stunned. Yeah.
Focke-Wulf coming back down to the south. You go to the north, there is a P4 who's trying to engage that Sherman. And part of me kind of says, you know what? Get that Pigren moving east just a smidge. Yeah, there's more guards coming in, but he's got a Panzerfaust, man. Use it.
Yeah, it's definitely rough for a trade blowing up at Sherman. A Panzer IV is trying his darndest.
It isn't just that so cute. I mean, what a brave soul he is. Going back down to the south for a second, what had been rather aggressively placed guards are all pinned down now. So as the opportunity to have a hero pick up over here at this Pigren just to actually kind of charge. But no, it looks like he wants a fair fight for some strange reason.
Yeah. Yeah, Boda doesn't really have that much infantry left in that town. He does have the sea phase card of 27 Panzergrenz, which is going to help him throughout the sea phase, but still, it's not going to be enough, I think, compared to Nonchalant's potential infantry that he can get.
You mean another 27 guards?
Yeah.
That are worth 10 points less per squad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Grenz, though, are going to get a couple surrenders, and this is still not to be laughed at. Oh wait, nope, never mind. Keep going, boys. It's okay. They won't bite you. All right.
Russians is very good at playing hide and seek.
All too good, man. They're like the hide and seek champions.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to see how well that King Tiger comes down to the south here. So the Brahma. Okay. So at the end of it, I want to see what Brahma's kills are, because I feel like he's probably paid himself off, which is a shocking thing to say about any Königstiga.
Yeah, I know, right? It's usually only happens in 10v10s. But I'm very surprised he's still alive in such close quarters engagements, but Boda's been using him pretty well.
Indeed he has. also surprised that there hasn't been a wave of Su-85s being brought on in. In fact, we're really only seeing a couple of Zis-2s to engage those P4s and Boyd to Shermans spotted around the map.
Yeah. Your Nonchalant has done a pretty good job of re-securing the northern side for now, of recapturing the central farm position and holding on to the far north town. But we are seeing a resurgence here from Boda of a lot of equipment to try and kick out his guards now low in Emcha. And he does have the recon squad embedded in the town, so he has some fantastic eyes on the actual forces here.
He does indeed, but the rather, not so much amusing thing, but a rather nerve-wracking thing, I think, from a kind of commander standpoint, is that North Central's looking awful weak, man. Like,
It is.
all he just needs to just not pay attention for a couple seconds, see a couple of half-tracks come down, pinch off these guard squads, which looks like one is threatening to start doing right now.
Yep, that's what he's doing. He's moving it south. Those guards are going to be in a pretty precarious situation soon, as the MG42 and KT firepower is just bearing down on them.
Certainly true. I was just watching to the north as we have an attempted assault again to push back the Comunista over here inside that northern town. It's kind of a scratch defense here. In fact, I mean, that's a lot of what's happening overall. So we're getting, drips and drabs of troops, I think, from both sides. But I'm starting to feel like the third is starting to punch itself out. It's getting exhausted.
Yeah, there's really no reinforcements being brought in up north here to try and deal with this resurgent push here from Boda. I mean, there's 2 Panther 4s, they're outnumbered at 1 Emcha. And looking at it, Boda is at a 15-9 over Nonchalant, just due to this northern aggression. And I think it's going to come down to a 16, there we go, a 16, maybe even a 17 soon. With the farm going to be buying the farm, that is.
Well, I have noticed that in the center here, there is 137 mil, which is keeping this Focke-Wulf from being 100% effective. But that man as well has just been doing the fatherland proud. And the anti-air goes down too, so this is another major hassle that's going to have to just be a constant thorn in the side.
Yep, and you're actually seeing the cluster generator being brought in up north here. I think he's going to use it to try and knock out Sherman from a safe distance, which is definitely a smart move. As, you know, Sherman has stabilizers.
Not going to be so safe with that off Clara, though. That poor guy's going to get bombed to smithereens.
You just have to duck. Find a table.
Huh. Okay.
There you go. That clears things out.
2 more guard squads and a Sherman pushing back, going to take back this one kind of errant flag here over here in that kind of central position. But other than that, the Soviets have completely lost the north. They have 3 squads in what would you say, maybe 8 or 10 kilometers?
Yeah, it's really not much here. And Boda's, I mean, with the King Tiger in the northern side, that Sherman can really only do so much. This is not a good position for Nonchalant to be in.
I'm mildly amused by the fact that it's like there's a Sherman here engaging and kills that track here. But outside of that, guard squad's probably... Okay, guard squad makes it out in time. Well, the mortars in the meantime, still, they just killed a Sherman.
Just overwhelming firepower.
Just flat out kill a Sherman.
Yep.
Yikes. But 16-8. I mean, this is the story of... I mean, this has been the game in the last couple of minutes here, is that just this point, the third is just... They got guards, and the guards have definitely some means by which to resist, but it's all super close range, and I feel like the Germans at this point can just bring in heavy artillery and just blast the ever-living bejesus out of them.
Yeah, it seems like Boda has managed to trade efficiently down south with just the overwhelming amount of off-map artillery he used to pound that town to hell and back. And yeah, it's really just the Nonchalant's mortar park here keeping him in the game down south, as it's just constantly barraging everything.
Well, to that end, I'd like to go, if I were Boda right now, I'm just gonna go and carpet bomb the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's thinking very tactically. He's trying to go and, oh, let's push back the Sherman here, and let's push back the guard squads there. But to me, I feel like if I break those 2 Shermans, well, he kills the Sherman right there, um, or I take out those mortars, even 2 of the 4, one of the 4, wait a second, how many mortars are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Doth my eyes deceive? Are there 6 mortar squads within a few hundred meters from each other?
Yep, it's a lot of mortars.
Jeez. But like, that kind of proves my point. Like, if I take out that concentration right there, I own the South.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's coming down to, and Nonchalant is... I mean, he's thrown in some tank keys now, which are definitely going to help out in ECQC firefights, but Boda just has an awful lot. Once again, these mortars doing a pretty good job of just, getting some good suppressing hits here. Almost completely stressing out the King Tiger, but not enough to really worry his thick hide.
Certainly does seem to be the case. Looking to the north, a couple of Zisguns is kind of like creeping on forwards. Guard squads kind of hiding and hunkering down inside the trees. But yeah, we see one more artillery barrage. We see an effective carpet bombing. Anything really.
Mm-hmm.
In the south, I think that's a balloon that gets popped all too easily.
Yeah, this is very concentrated force here. Now we've got some Panther force being brought in to reinforce that area, and up north is still looking pretty good here from Boda, as he's just pushing once again a versatile troop, and once really he just has the tank advantage, and that's all he really needs.
He's always had the tank advantage. Yeah, here's the Ju-88. It's going after a single Sherman, so he definitely missed his calling, I think, a bit here, but he's probably going to freak out the guards quite a bit. Okay, half. Not ideal, but still better than nothing. And elsewhere, there's 2 Pioneers hunkering down as a Sherman just calmly drives on by.
They can't really do too much against that Sherman tank, and might get into a good position to overwatch onto the hill, but in tank Decisive as well coming in. So I feel like Nonchalant still has a little bit of kick left in him in regard. I don't mind the Sherman does go down, but it was a
Yeah, we had really focused. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's just some orders that are keeping him alive here. Just buying time, but he can only buy so much time now as Boda's just in full effect. He has the critical mass of infantry and tanks.
No, he has the critical mass of tank. And that critical mass is about 75 tons.
Mm-hmm. Ridiculous how heavy that thing was.
Yeah.
Move of 1940s technology. And they decided to build it in the first place. What were they thinking, Khan? What were they thinking?
They were thinking someday there's going to be a computer game made by Russians. And we want the Germans to maybe have a tier 8 or tier 9 tank that's moderately worthwhile.
And we gotta think about those future History Channel documentaries as well.
And at long last, after,
finally.
oh my god, jeez, that guy was there since, what, 5 minutes in?
Yeah, that's probably one of the longest lasting King Tigers we've seen on a 1v1.
Well, the other Koenigsegg is still up and running, no transmission damage. He is just engaging the assist guns. They can kill him. They can kill him, but the Focke-Wulf can also kill them too. So it's a race against time. Can the Koenigsegg get taken out first, or will be hit by the Focke-Wulf? And I think the Focke-Wulf's gonna win that little foot race. Another Ju-88 going after Su-85 over here as well. So one position taken out. Su-85 is desperate to kill and at least maybe take out this Gepard. Because he can't pick on someone his own size. And this is going to be the end of just another Su-85. Now, how would you place against the Koenigseggs? Do you bring in 2 or 3 Su-85s at a time, or do you just kind of fritter away the day?
In a matchup like this on this map, I just wouldn't play a division that didn't have IS-2s or cluster bomber planes. It's pretty much it, I would say. But if you had to play it with third guard mech, I guess like so Strikers and Knights fire, smoke it with artillery so it can't see, just constantly suppress it with artillery and airstrikes. That's really all you can do, unless you get some good flanking shots with an Su-85.
It does certainly seem to be that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And Cobra getting forced away by the Gepard over here, so well done there. Now, usually the 21st Panto, okay, Nonchalant says, you know what, I don't care anymore, and he bows out. So after 35 minutes, 4 seconds, we're seeing a victory over here for Boda, so congratulations. And that kill death, I think, pretty much says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's like a 1,200 difference between both, and let's take a look at King Tiger first. I'm really curious on the losses. Okay,
So Brahma.
it
Oh, yeah.
decent. I think that is just enough to pay himself off a little bit more, so that's pretty good considering, and also just the fact that it halted any further Russian aggression down south just by existing.
True. True. And then we also the Pack 38 over here. Fritsch did pretty well. Flegel did pretty well. Itty did... Actually, Itty was almost a ground ace.
Yeah. And
1, 2,
the
3, 4.
Focke-Wulf, the Pertuk did really bloody good for himself, knocking out 2 Schiss guns and a Sherman.
But that kind of says it, doesn't it? Is that we have a couple of guys who are huge standouts, but like you said before, making good trades, able to kind of consistently at least, kill before you are, kill an equal point value of here before you get taken on out.
Yeah.
From the opposite side, we have a couple of Shermans that are standouts, and other than that, the 50 mils, for all the stressing out that they didn't convert and get those kills, and that's kind of a necessary thing, I feel like, on this map especially.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, either way, a big thank you to Boda, actually, who submitted the replay to us, and honestly, it went back and forth. I kind of feel like it's one of those moments that 21st Panzer was able to kind of go the distance.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't see a Sturm Panzer. I would have loved to have seen that, but no such luck. No such luck.
Yeah, it's good to actually seeing, someone exploiting an open field when they have a long-range fighting division.
Exactly.
That's how you win those matches pretty easily. You just take advantage of your King Tigers or whatever heavy tank insert here, and just blow everything the hell up as it comes close to you.
Exactly, and that's just really advice for life. I mean, if you have a big tiger, just blow everything the hell up before it gets close to you.
Yeah, and be in an open field where no one can flank you and have air superiority, which is
Actually,
pretty hard for the Germans in 44.
I was gonna say, actually, kind of sounds like my dating career, but that I think that's a conversation for a different time. But any final thoughts then, sir?
Nope.
All right, then, folks, thank you so much for joining us over here in Division 3 of the SD2 Season 4 League Play. Thursday, we got another real ripper of a replay coming out back here for you, so be sure to check that out. Until then, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.